everyone. Welcome to Yoga Coronavirus Edition. I'm very glad that you're joining me in this yoga. My home yoga practice has been something that's been really helping me personally kind of figure out this both anxious and relaxed time. It's kind of a strange moment in a lot of our lives, I think. And here we are, having a virtual yoga get-together. I look forward to when we can all be together in a room again, but until then, I'm glad we have this as an option. So I don't have much more to say that probably hasn't already been said around everything that's going on in the world, but I do think it's really important and really nice if you have the time, which a lot of us do at the moment, to take some time just for yourself, for your well-being, for your sense of grounding, etc. So please join me on a mat or a towel or a carpet or whatever you have at your disposal. I have my blocks here. Of course, if you don't have blocks, you can use a book or something similar in height. If you don't usually practice with blocks, no worries, you don't need them. So we're going to start just sitting comfortably. And take the first few moments, maybe rock a little bit side to side to really feel the sitting bones. Imagine your back up against a wall, sitting nice and tall, and feel the back of the neck getting long. So we want to avoid kind of crunching the back of the neck or tensing the shoulders. These are areas that tend to hold a lot of tension first when we're feeling anxious, and alternatively, an area when you release that can really encourage a sense of release in the whole body. We'll start with the eyes closed. Just taking the first few breaths here to arrive wherever you are. Hopefully you've carved out a nice little space for yourself without too many distractions in your immediate area. We'll start by breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Deep breath in. Keep thinking about the length in the back of the neck, crawling all the way up the back of the head and shining out the top of the head. For the next few breaths, think about this lengthening at the top of the spine, the cervical vertebra. For your next few breaths, think of this same action, the exact reverse. Crawling down the back of the spine, the sacrum, and out and down through the tailbone. Finding that length, finding space, finding plenty of opportunity for eventual movement in the spine. Let the jaw soften, the knees are heavy. With your next breath in, let the eyes open. And the arms float high overhead. If it feels right, you can already lift the gaze up toward the fingertips. As you exhale, hands find each other in front of the heart, thumbs resting on the breastbone. Again, think of this length in the back of the neck. Deep breath in. And a full breath out. Inhale, two arms reaching overhead. As you exhale, we'll take a twist to the left side. Right fingers come forward, left fingers coming behind the back. If it's comfortable, you can let the head continue this twist, looking back over the left shoulder. Inhale through the nose. Think of that length in the back of the neck, dripping all the way down to the tailbone. Exhale, twisting further. With an inhale, let that left arm lift, staying in your twist. Inhaling. As you exhale, left fingers start to tip toward the side. We come to a side bend. Stay holding on with your right hand on your left knee. Right ear is heavy. Exhale, let the arm cross, holding on to the opposite knee, and the chin falls to the chest. Deep breath in. Release the right fingers now, all the way back behind you. Reaching up to the sky, a big swimming action. Right fingers now find the left knee, chin to the chest. Let the head get heavy. Keeping the arms crossed, inhale, rolling up to sit. We'll find eagle pose in the arm. So the right arm is over the left. Either the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands come together. Drop your weight into the sits bones, floating the fingers high, shoulders down the back. If it's comfortable, you can start to look up to your fingertips. As you exhale, release this twist in the arms. Fingertips find the floor just behind you. So you can lean back slightly, really feel those sits bones. We'll just roll the shoulders a few times. Whatever feels good here. If you need to let the head interact with this movement, go ahead. Rocking your weight back onto your hips, free the feet. Fingertips are facing the sits bones, 2 feet planted into the mat. Inhale, lifting hips high, coming to a variation of altar pose. You can either leave your chin on your chest, looking forward, or if it feels comfortable in that space you created in the back of the neck, let the head float back. Eyes stay open, pressing into hands and feet. Inhaling, lifting the pubic bone. Exhale, sitting the hips low to the floor. We'll come to a variation of Navasana, boat pose. So holding on underneath the knees, coming onto the tips of the toes. Engaging the belly button to the spine, sitting up tall. You can lift the lower leg of one leg and maybe switch. Maybe just this, kicking the feet one at a time. Eventually, perhaps, both lower legs lift, knees hug together. Option to stay holding on or to reach fingertips forward. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll come to sit cross-legged again. Bring the other foot in front, sitting up nice and tall. Feeling both sits bones on the floor. Inhaling, arms high. Exhale, twisting to the right side. Left fingers cross the right knee. Deep breath in. Think about that length in the back of the neck and all the way down to the tailbone. Option to look back over the right shoulder. Keep expanding in the rib cage with the breath. Inhale, right fingers float overhead. Stay holding on really tight with that left hand. Exhale, dipping to the side, left ear getting heavier and heavier. Inhaling. As you exhale, right hand finds the left knee. Let the upper back curl forward, chin to the chest. Now really finding that grip with the right hand, left leg. Left fingers float back and up. Swimming the arm forward, chin to the chest. Deep breath in. And out through the nose. Inhale, rolling up to sit. Keep the arms crossed. This time left arm is on top of right arm. Freeing lower arms, either backs of the hands or palms of the hands come to touch. In your eagle pose, lifting elbows, sinking shoulders. Option to lift the gaze. Deep breath in and out. Release the hands behind the back once again. This time you can roll the shoulders forward or whichever direction feels comfortable. Just to encourage a little bit of action, a little motion in the shoulder blades, upper spine. And rocking back once again, altar pose. Step the feet into the floor, hips lift. Option to keep chin to the chest or float the head back for a full breath. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Hips lower right away to your version of boat pose. You can stay holding onto the legs, lift the legs, release, and this time maybe even begin to straighten the legs. Think about this length in the back of the neck, all the way down to the tailbone. Deep breath in. Exhale, crossing ankles, diving forward onto your hands and knees, centering yourself on the mat. Gaze is down between the thumbs for a nice long flat back. With an inhale, head and tail lift, belly sinks low, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, look toward your belly button, cat pose. And continuing cat and cow, several rounds. You can stay with this more traditional cat-cow, or if you feel in the comfort of your own home, you want to get a little looser, a little more of a Beyonce moment, rounding, circling the spine. Just make sure you're doing everything to both sides, keeping it even. And when you're ready, coming back to that neutral spine, just like we did when we were seated. Now everything just tipped 90 degrees. Think of that length coming out the crown of the head and coming out the tip of the tailbone. Deep breath in, pouring all of your weight into the right hand. Left fingers float up to the sky. So we take a little twist open here. As you exhale, reach that hand underneath. We're not going to come all the way onto the shoulder, but reach as if you're touching a point far away from you. We'll do this twice more. Inhaling with the breath, open. Exhale to twist. One more time. Inhale to open. Exhale to twist as you come back. Inhale to open. Exhale, bend that left arm. Place the hand on the back of the neck. Elbow out to the side. Right foot comes back behind you. Plant the ball of a foot into the floor. So here you can actually take your hand, bring it to the base of the skull, and draw your skull forward, out and up. Imagine your heel moving in opposition. Deep breath in. Option to stay here or to float the right leg. And finally, option to lengthen that left arm long. Inhaling. Exhale, left hand lowers to the mat. Right foot finds the floor if it's not already there. Drop the right heel down, the right hip opens. Right fingers peel across the heart, open to the sky for a supported half moon pose. Deep breath in. As you exhale, start to reach those right fingertips overhead so you lengthen the right rib cage. The fingers can come to around parallel to the floor, or maybe even dip a little bit lower to really open that rib cage. As you exhale, look down. Right hand comes down, square off the hips. Keep the ball of the right foot on the floor, hugging that left knee into the chest. Press the mat away with your hands. Inhale, come into a plank pose. Deep breath through the nose, back of the neck long. As you exhale, softly lower the knees to the mat, pointing the toes. Elbows bend as you lower all the way to the floor. Forehead on the mat here. Back of the neck nice and long. Let the hips rock side to side. Pressing into the tops of the feet. Inhaling, baby cobra pose. The heart lifts just away from the mat. As you exhale, lower to release. Toes tuck. Press yourself back onto hands and knees. And then keep the hips moving backwards. So you come to a variation of a child's pose with the toes tucked. Forehead on the floor. Deep breaths. 2 or 3 full breaths here. And when you're ready, shifting back onto hands and knees, adjusting yourself to center on the mat. Pouring your weight into the left hand. Right fingers float across the chest. Up to the sky 3 times with the breath, reaching under the left arm. Exhale, pumping the breath out. Fill the lungs, inhale. Exhale, empty the lungs. Inhale to lift. Exhale to twist. Inhale to lift. As you exhale, right hand finds the back of the head, the neck, where the skull and the spine meet. Lengthen actively the back of that neck, looking straight down to the mat. Option to add that left leg behind you. Breathing here, you can stay where you are, or float your left leg, perhaps eventually adding the right arm. Deep breath in. As you exhale, right hand lowers, left ball of the foot lowers, heel finds the mat, pouring your weight into your right hand, left arm opens to the sky. So staying here with this idea of the back body long. Deep breath in. Exhale, lifting left fingertips out and away, either to parallel or slightly past parallel, puffing up the left side of the ribcage. Exhale, look down. Hand comes down, coming onto the ball of the left foot, right knee hugs into the chest. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Hug that knee even closer in. As you inhale, send the right foot back to meet the left foot, hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. Staying in down dog a few breaths. If you need to walk, through the feet or shift the hips, shake the head, encouraging movement in the spine, encouraging freedom, shaking off whatever is sort of feeling stuck, unavailable, fatigued. And we'll meet together in a down dog, looking forward to the fingers, bend the knees, take yourself for a walk to the top of the mat. Coming to a forward fold, Uttanasana. Let the head hang, maybe even give the head a little shake. Again, this is your at-home practice. You can get as wild and free with it as you want. I encourage it. And when you're ready, soft bend in the knees. Begin to roll up through the spine. Nice and slow. We'll arrive standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Fingertips anchoring you down toward the floor. Head floating high. Deep breath in. Expanding in the lungs. Softening in the belly as you exhale. Inhale, 2 arms overhead. We'll hold on to the right wrist with your left hand and draw that arm up and over, tipping yourself over to the left side. As you do this, pour a little more weight into your right heel to keep the pelvis level. Deep breath in, full breath out, belly button to spine. Inhale, coming to stand, release the arm. We're going to take 3 swings here. I'll turn sideways so you can see. The knees are bent, and really just like a rag doll, let your upper body flop forward. 1, coming to stand, 2 more. Exhale, 2, inhale to collect, 3. Last time, we're going to stay folded forward. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Head hangs, drawing the heels of the hands toward each other like you're making one big fist with the 2 hands. And start to draw the arms up and overhead. Keep the knees bent here. Heavy head, inhaling. And exhaling. Soft bend in the knees. Release the hands down to the floor, coming all the way up to stand. This time holding onto the left wrist. Inhaling up and over to the right side. Puffing through this left rib cage, creating space and dropping a little more weight into that left heel. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale through center. Once again, these 3 swings. Really use your exhale to dive forward. Inhale to collect. Exhale. Inhale, standing tall. Exhaling. Let the head go. Last time, staying forward. Clasp the fingers. If you can remember which thumb was on top, maybe switch thumbs here. Arms overhead. And release the hands first toward the pelvis and all the way down to the floor. Inhale, arms float high, coming to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Deep breath in. Complete breath out. Inhale, lifting 2 arms overhead. As you exhale, diving forward, long, forward, fold. Inhaling, coming to a flat back. Fingertips to the mat or to the shins. Exhale, release. Big step back with the right foot to a low lunge. Inhaling through the nose. As you exhale, back knee lowers. Back toes point. Step your hands onto your front thigh. Back of the neck nice and long. Dropping that tailbone down to the floor. In through the nose. Out through the nose. With an inhale, lifting 2 arms overhead, straight up to the sky. Holding onto your right wrist, lift that right arm up and over to the left side, hugging inner thighs toward each other. As you exhale, we're going to continue circling all the way down to the floor. Hands find the mat. Back toes tucked, back leg long. Pouring your weight into your right hand, either the mat or on your block. Left fingers reach up to the sky for a twist. Inhaling. As you exhale, drop the weight of the pelvis a little bit. Release any tension in the jaw, the neck, the hips. The left hand finds the floor. Stepping back to a plank pose. Inhaling. Exhale, lower the knees, nice and slow, the chest, all the way to the floor. Inhale, scoop heart forward and up, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Toes tuck, hips float, up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog for 3 full breaths. On your last exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands to a low lunge. Deep breath in here, fill the body, getting really buoyant, floating away from the floor. Exhale, back knee lowers, back toes point. Step the hands onto the front thigh. So you can really use your hands to press down, lifting your torso up and out of the pelvis. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, arms are lifting high. This time holding onto the left wrist with the right hand. Actively use this grip to pull the arm up and out away from the shoulder socket, all the way over to the right side. Let that right ear get heavy. Maybe it even rests on the right upper arm. Continue circling all the way down. Hands frame the foot, back toes tucked, back leg long. Pouring your weight either into your prop or into the mat. Right fingers lift to the sky for a twist. Inhaling. And exhale, look down. Hand comes down. Take a big step forward with your back foot. Forward fold. Inhale to a long flat back. Exhale, release. Soft knees. Inhale all the way up to stand, arms high. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Deep breath in, arms floating high overhead. As you exhale, diving forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling, long flat back. Exhale, release, left foot steps back to your low lunge. Deep breath in, pouring your weight into the back foot. Arms reach high overhead. We're in a high crescent lunge. A nice deep bend in the front knee. If you feel any pressure, any pinching in the low back, you can release that back knee as well. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Encouraging action, encouraging freedom, movement in the spine as you exhale. Arms up into a T shape. Chest lowers toward the front thigh. Inhale to lift. Twice more. You don't have to worry about this being correct. Just find movement in the body. Find movement in the breath. Exhaling. And inhaling. As you exhale, hands to the heart. Deep breath in. Deep breath out to twist over that right leg. So left elbow shifts forward. You can stay here. Or tip yourself forward, hooking your left elbow to the outside of the right knee for a twist. Maybe your eyes start to float up toward the sky. If so, try to keep the chin tucking toward the chest, maintaining that length in the back of the spine. Full breath in. Full breath out. As you exhale, look down to the floor. 2 hands come down. Step the back foot in a little bit closer. We'll straighten both legs. Bring your left heel to the floor. So we have both legs straight, both heels down. Inhale, hands come to the waist. Long back, you come all the way up to stand. So we're preparing for this pyramid pose. The feet are both planted fully on the floor, little toe sides of the feet in the mat. Option to stay with hands on the hips, or you can bring your hands to either elbows or reverse prayer pose behind the back. Wherever you are, breathe the sternum forward and up. And as you exhale, tipping forward, then hinging at the hips. Only coming as far as you can, keeping the back nice and long. Deep breath. Out through the nose. Little toes digging into the mat for stability, for support. Next exhale, maybe you want to bend that front knee as your hands find the mat. Head hangs forward. Take a big step back with the left foot. Right foot joins, plank pose. As you exhale, you can choose to either lower the knees, then the chest, or the whole body in one piece, all the way to the floor. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, release. Toes tuck. Hips lift up and back. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, in and out. Take your time. These breaths are as crucial as the more active, more kinetic moments in the practice. Arguably more important, an opportunity to let all of this information settle in the body. With your next exhale, left foot steps forward to a low lunge. Rocking weight into that back foot. Arms come high. We're in our high crescent lunge here. A deep bend in the front knee. Again, you can soften that back knee. Fingertips reaching high. And then 3 times we're going to take this airplane upper body, lowering and lifting, arms widening. Again, don't worry about it being correct, looking a certain way. Just really to get this sense of movement and balance. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Let your breath move you. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. This time chest stays high. Hands find each other in front of the heart. Back of the neck long with an exhale to twist. Right elbow across the left knee. Option to keep your gaze right in front of you or start to shift your gaze up toward the sky. Back of the neck long, energy shooting out and back through the tailbone. As you exhale, look down. 2 hands come down. Take a step in with your back foot to shorten your stance a bit, bringing that back heel to the mat. Again, we have 2 straight legs if possible. Feel free to use fingertips or your props here. Hands find the waistline, long back, crown of the head reaching forward, out and up to bring you to stand. Finding whichever grip works for you behind the back, opposite elbows, or reverse prayer pose. Lifting the kneecaps up toward the thighs so the legs are super straight, activated. Inhale, chest puffs forward. As you exhale, keep this openness across the collarbones, across the front of the chest. Keep the shoulder blades moving toward each other on your back. And only coming as far as you can, maintaining the integrity of this openness in the chest. When you're ready, release this. You can soften the bend in the front leg. Hands come down, take a step forward with the right foot. Give the head a little shake. Soft bend in the knees. Inhale, coming up to stand, arms are high. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment here, maybe the eyes soften or close for a breath or 2. Just checking in with how you feel, with your energy level. Deep breath in, and a full breath out. Next, inhale, eyes gently open if they were closed. Fingertips come down by your sides. As you exhale, sitting low, Utkatasana, chair pose. Shift your weight back to your heels. Deep breath in. Exhale, diving the chest forward. Keep a bend in the knees. Find that clasp with your hands behind the back. Arms floating overhead. Head is really heavy. Next, exhale, hands find the floor. Step or float your way back through a vinyasa or directly to downward facing dog. We'll meet all together in down dog. With an inhale, float the right leg up to the sky. As you exhale, step it forward between the hands, low lunge. Back heel finds the mat, preparing for warrior 1. So again, the little toe side of the foot on each foot is in contact with the floor. Inhale, arms high, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale, deep bend in the front knee. A few breaths here to really focus your gaze on one specific point, somewhere out in the distance. Allow yourself a moment to settle here. Before the hands find the base of the skull. Just like earlier, use your hands, actually use this tactile connection with your own body to lift your head up and away from the spine. If it's available, you can let your head sink back, make a little hammock with your hands. Inhale, sending your head back onto the top of the spine. Arms are high. Exhale, hands find each other behind the back. Make that one fist with the hands again, behind the back. Shoulder blades slide together. Exhale, diving forward. Let the head really hang here. Maybe your belly rests on your right thigh. Maybe both shoulders are to the inside of the right leg. And the head hangs. Looking back to that back foot, nice and stable, solid, anchoring you to the floor. With an inhale, look toward your right big toe. Take a moment, shift your weight. You're going to pivot that right foot so that we're facing all 10 toes in the same direction, and the head hangs between the legs. If this is too much for the shoulders, you can bring the hands to the waist here. And eventually the hands find their way back to the mat. If you want a little sway, a little movement here to help you release any tension, you can find it. And when you're ready, soft bend in the knees. We'll roll all the way up to stand. Turn around here. Arms reaching overhead. Exhale to find the hands in the prayer pose. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, arms reach high. Pivot the right toes to face the top of the mat. Exhale, deep bend in the right leg. We're in our warrior two pose. Inhale here. Soft shoulders, back of the neck is long. Inhale, right palm flips high. Exhale, reverse the warrior, up and over the back leg. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, tipping forward, extended side angle. We'll take this 3 times total. So we're not going to stay too long in any one place. Reverse the warrior. Same idea here, just encouraging movement. See how your body needs to respond, to react in real time. See how your breath needs to keep working to support this movement. Next time, come to your warrior two. Stay looking out over the right fingertips. Full breath in. And a full breath out. As you exhale, hands cartwheel down to the floor. All 10 fingers press into the mat. Right leg kicks up and back for a one-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, step it forward between the hands right away. Arms float high. We're in high crescent lunge. Bend the back knee. We're going to spring forward, hug that left knee into the chest. So I'll face you. Left knee is hugging in. As you exhale, bend the standing leg. We're going to come to our eagle pose, crossing left leg over right, either bringing the outer ankle to the outer shin, or maybe you wrap your foot around once more, arms open to a T shape. We bring the left arm underneath the right arm, finding those eagle arms, your variation, and sinking the pelvis down and back. Back of the neck stays long, breathing in and out. Finding that fixed point for your gaze can really help with the balance here. And as you're ready, just gently unwind. Find your way to Tadasana, mountain pose. Deep breath in, and a full breath out. Deep breath in with an exhale, sitting low, chair pose. Next exhale, find the hands behind the back, maybe the other thumb on top if you remember. Don't worry if you don't. Arms reaching overhead. And as you exhale, hands find the mat. Take your way back either through your plank and vinyasa or directly to downward facing dog. We meet in down dog. 3 breaths here to settle in, to check in. And as you're ready, an inhale floats the left leg up to the sky and steps it forward between the hands. Back heel lowers to the mat. Little toe pressing down as the arms lift high. Warrior one pose. Inhaling. Exhale, allow yourself to settle even further, even deeper, more committed to your focus, to your breath. Hands find the base of the skull, lifting the weight of the skull up and out, and maybe you let your head melt back into your hands. Elbows are open really wide away from each other. Inhale, collecting again, head on top of spine, arms reaching high. Exhale, hands find each other, interlace the fingers, slip the shoulder blades together, chest puffs forward, gaze lifts, diving yourself either across the front thigh or to the inside of that front leg. Heavy, heavy head. As you're ready, just shift the gaze slightly, look toward your left big toe, and then actively pivot that left foot to face the side wall. Head hangs. Soft bend in the knees if you like, and the hands make their way down to the floor or to your blocks for a little sway, a little swing, a little shake, or maybe just some stillness. Soften the knees. Inhale, coming all the way up to stand. Arms reach overhead. Hands find each other in a prayer. Inhale, arms lift high. Left big toe points toward the front of the mat, sinking, melting your weight down into Virabhadrasana 2. Warrior 2 pose. Nice wide stance with the feet. Have the sensation that you're actually tearing the mat apart, tearing it from front to back. So the feet are really actively grounding and moving in opposition. We'll take this little dancing warrior sequence 3 times. So you can get loose with it. You don't have to stay with me. Inhale, left palm flips high. Exhale, reversing. Inhale, warrior 2, and tipping yourself forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, exhale. Last time, in and out, in and out. Inhaling to that warrior 2 and let yourself arrive. When you're ready, cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Back heel lifts. Press into all 10 fingers. The left leg kicks up and back. And step it forward once again. As soon as your foot lands, arms lift high. As soon as your arms arrive, bend that back knee. Hug the right knee to the chest. So you're testing your balance here a little bit. I fell. I cheated. Pretended I didn't fall. You're standing nice and tall. Bending the standing leg. Crossing that right leg over. Either 1 wrap or 2 wraps around. Arms opening. Right arm comes underneath the left arm, bending the elbows, finding your eagle pose. Eye focus, clear, breath, nice and calm. And as you're ready, release, coming to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a moment for yourself here. Eyes can close or gaze can lower. And as you're ready, eyes open. We'll swivel the feet out about mat width. So if you're standing the other way, toes come out on a slight angle. Heels pointing slightly inward, arms reaching high overhead. Imagine that your back is up against the wall here. We're going to slide all the way down into a squat. So to the best of your ability, keeping the back nice and tall. If at some point you have to tip forward and use the floor for support, go ahead. As we arrive in this squat, you might find that your heels don't reach the floor. No problem. If you do have a block or a really fat book nearby, feel free to place that underneath the sits bones to support a little further in this squat. We'll take a few breaths here. If you find it helpful, you can lower the chin to the chest, lower the gaze, turning inward slightly here. Noticing sensation in the body. Aware, of course, of your surroundings, but really kind of tuning out or turning down the volume of whatever is happening around you, either very locally in your actual space, or if you're feeling overwhelmed by what's happening on a broader scale, it's a nice chance to just check in really with how you're feeling, what your sensations are currently. When you're ready, hands find the floor, hips lift just enough to swivel the feet back together. We come all the way down to the floor. Gently lower the pelvis. Sunshine. The legs come out in front of you. First staff pose, Dandasana. This is so nice right now. I'm just going to take a moment. Enjoy this. You can flex your feet, arms reaching overhead. And when you're ready, diving your heart forward over straight or softly bent knees. Arms can land wherever they land. That might be your outer thighs, your shins, your ankles, your feet. Whatever it is that you reach, that's wonderful. Commit to it, accept it, and let the head curve forward. Deep breath. This breath will continue even as the activity starts to slow now. You can turn up the volume on the breath, spending even more of your attention focusing on what is expanding as you inhale, what is releasing as you exhale. When you're ready, rolling up through the spine. Hands on either side of the pelvis. Scoot yourself all the way forward to lay back on your back. Step the heels in a bit closer to the sits bones. We'll come to 2 back bends. Bridge pose to begin. Palms of the hands down. Press down to lift the pelvis. Nice and high. You can personalize these back bends. If you have another variation that you prefer, maybe a more restorative pose by placing a block under your sacrum so you can rest your pelvis on a block. If you want to stay for one back bend and just stay longer, you can. You can do whatever you want, obviously. And let it go. Between back bends, if you're choosing to take 2, come to a sacrum release. So either wide knees, feet together, or wide feet, knees together. And take a few breaths. When you're ready for your second back bend, step the feet once again parallel in line with the sits bones, palms down. Either another bridge pose, or maybe you're coming to a full wheel pose today. Make sure you're moving sequentially through the action safely. The breath is supporting you. And as you're ready, find your way slowly down to a longer sacrum release of your choice. We'll stay here for a handful of breaths, allowing gravity to really take over here. So you have the support of the floor underneath you. You can let go of any sense of having to hold yourself. Let go of any sense of having to be anywhere but right here, right now. And as you're ready, hugging the knees in toward the chest, Coming to a little ball. That ball can rock and roll side to side, maybe circling the knees, or whatever feels helpful, beneficial to you right now. Maybe that's stillness for you. We'll finish with a soft, reclined twist. So you keep the knees hugged in toward the chest, arms open up out to the sides, and let both knees fall across the body toward the left side. As they land, looking out over your right shoulder, away from where the knees are, and melt that right shoulder blade down into the floor. Notice the action that occurs because of the breath. So there's the more obvious action of the lungs expanding and contracting. You might notice sort of residual actions or releases or small movements in the body, indicating that that breath is really moving throughout the entire body. Coming through center and exhaling the knees to the right side. As they land, shift your gaze over the left shoulder. As you're ready, coming back to center, taking any last actions that you'd like for yourself. And carving out time, hopefully at least 5 minutes of your time for a nice, calm, long Shavasana. Lengthening yourself out onto the floor, maybe taking a blanket or an eye pillow or anything that helps you feel really relaxed and comfortable. Take the time that you need to arrive. I'll say my goodbyes now. Enjoy your Shavasana. I hope you've enjoyed this practice, and I'll see you next week.